Changes appear to be on the way to a City of Lubbock ordinance. Earlier this year, we told you the City Council voted to make property owners responsible for repairs to private sewer lateral lines in public right-of-ways like streets and alleys. Residents told us the change is costing them thousands of dollars in plumbing bills. Investigative reporter Shaley Kidwell took your complaints to elected officials who say they hear you.
Earlier this year, we introduced you to property owners across Lubbock who are about to be hit with pricey plumbing bills.
$10,000 to $15,000 is kind of the estimate that I had been hearing.
I got the estimate in, and that's, $6,500.
They came out and told me it was going to be $3,500.
Property owners have always been responsible for repairs or replacements to their private sewer lateral lines within their fence line. But since 2006, the City of Lubbock pipeline maintenance crews have handled the work on those lines in public rights-of-way like streets and alleys. City Manager Jared Atkinson says the process caused delays.
It's pretty slow for the customers. It did generate a lot of complaints, a lot of really coordination type issues.
Which is one of the reasons why city staff proposed an amendment to the ordinance that would require property owners to hire a city-approved contractor to complete the work on the portion of the line that runs from their fence line to the city main.
I think this is a benefit to the consumer. There's no longer now that lag or that gap where the plumber's working on one side, we're scheduling a crew to come and work on the other side. We do estimate this to produce about an $800,000 savings to our operations.
The amendment passed unanimously in October and went into effect in January, which is when the complaints started to pile up.
I'm not driving down my alley to crush these sewer taps. I feel like it's utility vehicles that are doing it. I don't think that it's fair to not maintain what infrastructure's here in the alley and then push it off onto the homeowners.
We took residents' concerns to Councilman and mayoral candidate Mark McBrayer.
Did City Council have any idea that it would be this expensive for homeowners when we switched the ordinance?
I certainly didn't. When it came to us, it seemed like a good decision based on the information we had.
If I put you on the spot here, is this something you will take to council?
Yeah, I'll ask us to revisit it. So we need to be responsible with how we address that issue and not unnecessarily push problems off on the homeowner.
We also spoke with Councilman and mayoral candidate Steve Massengale.
Is the cost of that last piece of the line, that small piece of the line, should your neighbor pay for that? Or should you pay for that? And at the end of the day, it's the property owner's line, and I think that's why I can justify supporting the policy change.
To those people here in Lubbock who are saying this is way too much money, what's your response to that?
None of us want to be in a sewer line down situation, but there's a lot of things that cost money as a property owner.
Do you think there could be a win-win where the city crews are still taking care of this to help alleviate the cost for property owners, but you're doing it faster?
I don't know if there is. The sewer department, just like the water department, you can even include LP&L. I mean, there's just a lot of demand on everything they do. They do so many more things and we need them for so many more things than what might be associated with something in the right-of-way or beyond the fence line. So I don't know the answer to that.
After our story aired, Massengale posted this to social media. After listening to citizens' concerns, Councilwoman Joy and I have asked staff to work on a revised sewer line ordinance that addresses city responsiveness for repairs and relieves the financial burden on property owners.
Last time we spoke, you were in favor of the amendment to the ordinance, but I understand things may have changed. What happened?
What's changed since we've talked and your story ran is I've seen some of the invoices and some of the cost impact to our citizens, and also have seen great disparity in the prices given to some of those citizens when they need that work done.
I know initially your argument was it shouldn't be your neighbor paying for your private sewer lateral line. And it was going to save like $800,000.
The savings piece is not motivation, or wasn't motivation for me to support the ordinance. What I heard was we weren't being responsive enough. And we work hard to make sure we're responsive to citizens' needs here.
I know in this first story that we did, Mark McBrayer said he wanted to look into it. At the time
you thought it was good the way it was. Did you approach Latrell Joy about going in on this together?
So I think Latrell and I were simultaneously talking to staff, and I just felt like I'd had enough input after we had considered it and after your story ran that we need to take another look at it.
Councilwoman Latrell Joy says she did not realize the ramifications until she started to receive complaints from constituents. Do you think that you had all of the information you needed to vote?
No. This was something that should have been handled in a work session. The minute that I realized the impact that this was having, I said, no, I want it changed.
When I interviewed the city manager, he said that it was kind of a cost savings of $800,000, and it sounded like they maybe didn't have the staff to continue to take on this work.
The solution is, if you don't have the staff, then you come to the council with a budget that says, I need to add another crew. That's pretty easy to do in our budget, but you don't do what was done in October.
Joy says they also need to work with the property owners who are now out thousands of dollars.
The one case that I've investigated more, it was $4,500 for the property side of it and $4,500 for the alley side of it. So that's why I want a way for people that have had to pay to be compensated if we can do that.
We're told the city's legal team is drafting a revised ordinance, which should be on the March 26th agenda. Shaley, Kidwell, KCBD, investigates.